to the rescue. I'm SP, and this is SP to the rescue. Today we're going to talk about forced-air furnaces, basic operations, basic components, and basically what happens when your heat doesn't work. Our first component is the gas valve and burners. Our second is the heat exchanger. Our third is the blower motor and fan assembly. The three of these components together is what creates a forced-air furnace. The first thing we need to talk about is the thermostat. Whether it's an old dial device or a newer digital device, this, for our purposes, is considered the switch that turns your unit on or off. This tells your inducer motor to start to turn on. The inducer motor is what pushes out the exhaust. Once that's working, it tells the gas valve to open up and start the ignition sequence. Once this happens, we get fire. And fire in this case is a good thing. Once the heat exchanger reaches a certain temperature, it sends a signal down to tell the blower motor to kick on. The blower motor takes the cold air, pushes it across the heat exchanger to turn it to warm air to heat the space. And that's the basic operation of a forced-air furnace. Now we're going to get into basic reasons why that might not work, and what may be causing issues with your unit. This brings us back to our thermostat. If you have a digital style thermostat, you need to check the batteries to make sure they're in good condition and putting out the correct voltage. Improper voltage can mean a faulty signal is being sent to the heating unit, causing it to shut down prematurely. If you have a dial style thermostat, you may want to consider upgrading to a digital style. They've just outlived their lifetime and usually contain harmful substances like mercury used in the switch mechanism. Once we've secured and made sure that the thermostat's no longer an issue, we need to go check the unit itself. First thing we want to check is the filter. Clogged filters are the #1 cause of heating unit failures. It causes safety switches to be set off inside the unit to prevent it from overheating itself. We also want to check the power supply. Make sure a breaker hasn't been tripped or a fuse hasn't been blown. Once we've had that the power is good, our next step to check for any kind of issues would be the exhaust and intake flues. This is where the air comes in and the exhaust air goes out. If these are blocked in any way, there's also pressure switches and safety switches that sense this as well. These will have to be clear and free of obstructions inside and out. Those are just a few things that can save a homeowner money on a service call. Anything beyond that should be checked out by a licensed heating contractor with the correct tools and equipment to diagnose the problem and get you back up and running. Like we like to say at Sensible Plumbing. Why do we do something? Because it just makes sense. So join us again here at SP to the rescue. Sensible Plumbing's doing a giveaway. All you have to do is like this video and subscribe to the channel to enter to win either a Yeti tumbler or a Yeti bottle. Only new subscriptions before April 1st will be counted. Drawings on April 1st for the winner.